What's up, guys? You're listening to the Play On podcast. Thank you for joining us. We have a new episode out every Monday morning, straight to Spotify, Apple Music, and even on YouTube. We hope you enjoy the episode, and without further ado, let's play on. And we're back. Episode 2, week 2. Boys, how are we today?
I'm feeling all right, actually.
Feeling all right?
Yep,
Happy to be here.
Happy to be here.
Yep.
We're a bit
great,
we're a bit late.
Yep, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Things happened last night, last minute things, and myself and Josh ended up going to the Moseley on a Sunday night.
Yeah.
When normally we will be recording this podcast. So forgive us for anybody that's sitting around waiting.
I was here waiting.
Austin came over, was waiting for us here in the lounge room.
Aussie drove an hour just to chill in our lounge room while we're
he set up the whole podcast studio and was like, "Yep, where are the boys?
Where are they?"
He messaged us at 9 o'clock, guys. Are you coming?
Oh, absolutely not. We're not coming.
Oh, mate.
Yeah. I noticed you guys went home.
That's it. All right. I reckon we could start off today by going over. Obviously, we had our first episode come out last week, and obviously because we're new to this, we're going to make a few mistakes along the way. So I want to talk about. What do you guys think was your favourite mistake that we made last week? I'll go first. All right. My favourite is there wasn't a clip of this because I didn't want to clip it on purpose. But when we spoke about the Demons game, I referred to Christian Salem as Callum Salem for a whole 20-minute rant. Yeah. And you guys, nobody picked up on it.
I think I did. The problem was I picked up on it,
You
right?
did not pick up on it.
I picked up on it.
Don't say that now. We spoke about this during the week. We all said none of us had any idea.
I sort of gaslit myself into believing you were right. So I've just sort of, that sounds all right. Yeah.
So all this weekend when I was watching the Demons and Sydney game, I was like, oh yeah, there's Callum. There's Callum running with the ball.
Callum running.
It was not. So if anybody actually listened to it and thought, oh no, you fucked up.
Yeah,
you fucked
definitely
up.
did.
That is not Callum Salem. That is Christian Salem. My apologies. I do know that is Christian Salem, but I made a boo-boo.
Can I go to my favourite bit next?
Go on.
My favourite bit was when we were doing our ladder predictions.
Yep.
And none of us realised at the time, but when we were editing, Ozzy said GWS twice in his ladder prediction. He had him at 7th and 3rd, but had no Port Adelaide
and
in.
7th was meant to be Port Adelaide.
This bloke's stolen, man.
Port Adelaide is so bad, he didn't even have him in his top 18.
You stole my fucking joke, Josh. What the fuck? That was my joke.
I don't care.
Ozzy, what was your favourite?
Well, he's just nicked mine. I was like, I'm safe as houses with this one.
What was your favourite from last weekend's episode?
I don't know. I can't
remember.
No.
Don't look at my screen, mate. I don't have anything written there.
You can have the same as one of us.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say my.
To be fair, that was Austin's mistake to make. So, give us another one then, Josh.
Another one. Did I fuck up at all?
You put Crows in 5th, mate.
Yeah, you put Crows in 5th, and you put Richmond in 17th.
No, I'm standing by that. I'm standing by Richmond in 17th. They're in the fucking bin. They're in the fucking bin.
That one got a lot of traction on the socials over the week. That's fine. That's fine. That's what we want. We want people calling us flogs. We want people saying we have no idea. Because you're right. We don't have any idea. We're just cosplaying Nathan Lloyd. Not Nathan Lloyd. Come on, Austin. Help me out.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Oh, fuck it. Whatever. We're cosplaying Kane Corns and fucking David
Nathan
King.
Brown?
Yeah, that one. Yep, my bad.
I'll see now.
There you go. Thank fuck somebody can realise what I was trying to say there, man. Seriously.
Far out.
But that is okay. And we move. And you know what? There's going to be a lot more shitty comments from people on the socials. And but we'll get to that a bit later. Should we get into the games?
We should. We'll start with the very riveting season opener.
Oh, riveting.
Sydney versus Melbourne, where...
All right, cut the bullshit. It was probably one of the most boring games. It was so shit.
I had basketball and I had to leave at halftime and I was... Quite happy. I was quite happy to leave at half time.
Yeah, I bet you were.
We were watching it all together, and our roommate fell asleep for the whole game.
Yeah, Jacob, he was like so keen to watch the footy. Came out, got about 5 minutes in, passed out on the couch, and did not wake up until the final siren went. It was like an alarm clock. Wakes up and he's like, "Oh, all right, time to go play some games. And often we didn't see him for the rest of the night. So that was how that went.
Yeah, it was great.
What was the big talking points from this game? Brody Grundy.
Brody Grundy
destroying
last
Gorn.
quarter was excellent.
Just the whole game in general.
I think they were relatively even in the first half. The last quarters where Grundy really broke away from Gorn, and he ultimately changed the game.
He was just muscling him off. Man. Yeah, there was that many times where they like zoomed in on Max Gorn just getting fucking manhandled in the ruck and just said "see you later" to him. The thing I particularly liked about Grundy's performance is that he really especially at the centre bounces, Grundy really engaged body contact with him a lot earlier. He didn't let Gorn get a run and jump at it, which he knew that if Gorn gets a run and jump at it in that centre bounce, he's not gonna be able to beat him in the air. So whenever the ball was bounced, Grundy would just sprint straight to Gorn, engage in contact, and they'd sort of engage in it like it was just like a throw up. Sort of thing, like just the way how they're underneath it, when like the ball just gets thrown up, they don't really jump or anything. They're just sort of like just wrestling underneath it, and that's it.
That's the thing about Gorn and Grundy though, is that the ruckman they've played against the most is each other.
True.
Yeah, true. Because at like
it's actually a good point. I didn't think of that. Yeah.
Melbourne shot themselves in the foot, really.
Yeah.
How so?
They've trained Grundy against Gorn for a whole year, and then gone and traded him away
to a rob. I didn't even think about that.
They've shot him in the foot. Like.
Yeah, right. Definitely makes it easier for Grundy.
But they couldn't not get rid of him because he was.
It was.
Well, the other thing is is that Grundy could have came back and been shitter because he hasn't really gotten consistent gameplay over the last 2 years, really, has he?
No,
he had that big injury at Collingwood and then didn't get games at Melbourne, and
that's because they tried to play him as a forward. And that didn't work.
No, it didn't.
That's okay. He moves on. It is
but he's certainly proven on his first.
He's shown us why he is an All-Australian ruckman.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
And a fantasy pig.
Yes, for sure. Oh, yes.
118.
108. Get him in your fantasy squads, boys.
Yeah.
Speaking of fantasy,
what do you got for us?
What do you think of Windsor, young Windsor?
Caleb Windsor. Oh, he'll play. Yeah. It's like I said last week when I spoke about him. He'll play. Kid was a gun. He played well.
He was. I think he was really clean with the ball and he looked quite composed. And even in the second half, he was biting off really dangerous kicks that were just working.
Definitely. He did what we expected of him, and he'll keep his spot in that squad. Even though they lost, I don't see them dropping him.
No.
Who was the player? There was a player that had a really bad game. Was it Errol?
Errol Gordon.
Yeah,
69 fantasy.
I think his last quarter was...
It wasn't,
okay.
It wasn't bad.
He played
He
well.
had 20 disposals.
The thing about AFL fantasy is AFL fantasy makes me
misleading.
see the 69 score from a player that averaged, 110 last year? And it makes me go, what a shit fucking game. But to be honest, he was the one that played really well.
Yeah. He sort of needed a minute to ease into the game. But
have you guys seen all the videos online of all the fuck ups from that game, like all the ball handling misuse and stuff?
Oh yeah.
There was so many.
He had three in a row.
Truck had one little passage there where he got the ball kicked to him, fumbled picking it up, and then fumbled picking it up again, and then fumbled the hand pass when he gave it off. Let the man cook, I guess. It was a good game. Nothing much to report on this one. Sydney are going to be good this year. They looked really good.
For them to be good and go far, they need people, in particular Tom Papley, to stand up. And I think he showed on Friday night.
Yeah.
Thursday night. Yeah, he can be All-Australian this year. He only kicked one goal, but his disposal, I think he went about 80%. He was just so clean with the ball and really damaging with every disposal.
Yeah. No, definitely. Another one for me. Who was it? Matty Roberts looked good with the ball as well.
Yeah.
Young fella coming in through the ranks there. He's getting a bit more consistent game time. Yeah. He had that injury last year, didn't he?
Yeah, I think in the gather round game.
Yeah, he played was it 1 game or 2 games that he played?
I think he played 2.
Yeah, I think he played 2 or 3.
Yeah, well, it's good to see him back out there, and
it's really evident
getting a good run at it, and he's going to string some games together this year. That he should be in Sydney's best squad throughout the year. I think.
The second year players, it's quite evident with who are the best ones of the pack because they take that step on their second year.
Yeah.
And it seems he's going to be one of those guys.
Yeah, definitely. Anything else from this game?
This was a boring game.
Bit of a boring game. Not much to report.
It was very, very. We got a lot out of it in terms of information, but it was such a fucking.
Yeah, I think anything for you?
Well, I mentioned last year I did have a little bit of I was sort of underrated Jack Viney, and he shoved it back in me face on the weekend.
What did you say about Jack Viney?
Oh, I just said he shouldn't be in Robbo's top 50. I said
last week. Okay, right.
I just said there's a few players that should go. Yeah, he rubbed it in me face.
30 disposals.
As the TikTok comments say, you got no idea, Austin. You got no idea. You've got no idea.
And I've got another comment. Of Melbourne's 9 goals, Bailey Fritsch kicked 4. And the only other forward to kick a goal was Van Rooyen.
Yep.
So they've got some work to do in there.
Yeah.
No, definitely. But that was it. That was explained in the preseason as well, that their forward line was going to be what was going to depend on whether or not they were going to win a lot more games this year and be finishing in the top half of the 8.
Yeah.
I think they get petty backs in, I don't know, a month or so, I think. So
it's a lot of games to miss though at the start of the season. One of your better
because you need to win them early.
And definitely. All right, next game, Blues.
Next game was actually an exciting game.
Oh, great fucking game.
It was a very exciting game.
I'll tell you what though, it almost wasn't a great game.
The second half was insane.
The second half was like a preliminary final. It's what the preliminary final last year should have been, to be honest.
And the first half was like...
The first half, I was sitting there. I rang my dad. I was
like pre-season.
Yeah, real. Oh, God.
So I think they were up by 45.
Yeah, I think they kicked 6. They might have had a 6-goal lead at quarter time.
Harry Mackay, what a game from him.
Oh yeah, I said here he's jitter free. Can we say that? Can we say he's jitter free?
I don't know about that. I think it was just more the thing I liked about it, and someone else said this on the radio this week, is that and I noticed it as well, was that every time he had a shot, he did the same thing. Like there wasn't like some spots where he was like, yeah, I'm going to snap from 25 out, or I'm going to do a banana. Yeah. Every time he had that shot, it was the drop punt. And the only one that he missed was it was a pretty bad miss, but you can see why he missed it. It just came off the side of his foot. That was just a ball drop issue. But the other 3 were pretty clean kicks.
I noticed at the end of the first quarter, Carlton put Curnow behind the ball. Charlie Curnow.
Did know that. I did notice that a little bit.
Do you think that's a move we'll see often this season?
They did that last year in the Gold Coast game.
Okay.
Was that the second to last game or the last game before finals? Do you know the one I'm talking about?
Yeah. The second time they played.
Yeah, the second time they played them. So they did that in that game. I think Charlie kicked 5 or 6 that game, and then in the last 5 minutes, because they were only up by a couple of points, they chucked him back, and in the last 30 seconds, he took that last mark.
Yeah, right.
So it's definitely one that we've seen before, and it'll probably happen again. Well, why wouldn't you? If you've got a player that can mark it as well as he can, especially when the Carlton backline, I say decimated, but they didn't really look too decimated in that second half. They were rock solid after that first half. It looked like they were just a bit unsettled, and they got over it, and then they cooked.
Is he still the man? Is he your favorite? Is he the favourite for the Coleman?
No, but he wasn't my favourite for the Coleman, the starters. Which one of us said that he was?
You said Sublaki.
Yeah, I know he was. He was the bookies' favourite, wasn't he?
Yeah, he is.
I think. I don't know if he should have been the favourite. Anyways, it's very hard to win.
I think he's still the man to beat.
Probably, but just the history says that he won't win it again, if that makes sense. And history saying that is
third Coleman in a row.
But I'll tell you what, we'll get to it later. But there's a young man that played this weekend that I think would be another shoe-in for that Coleman medal. We'll get to that in a bit.
Yeah.
What else from this game?
I've got a note on Carlton's third quarter. They kicked 8 goals in 25 minutes, and that
third quarter blitz.
Yeah, in that third quarter.
Yep.
The intensity. It was, oh my God. Yep. I'm unsure of what their pressure meter was, but my God, it's really gonna scare some teams this year.
Well, the Carlton backline was probably the most impressive thing, like the way they were able to change the way they were playing in that second half and get that comeback going. There was a lot of really interesting footage during the weekend of I think it was Blake Acres doing some runs behind the ball, and how he took an intercept mark, kicked it long, went and supported, and then when they turned over the ball, he was instantly over on the other side to then intercept it, and then he made that intercept mark that he hand passed off, and they got a goal from it. So there's a lot of really good footage out there, and it seems those players like him and the Smalls for Carlton are going to be the ones that are going to have to stand up this year if they want to go that extra step.
Yeah, and on that, they're going to need to fill a hole down back now with Doherty.
Yes, definitely. This is probably the saddest news over the weekend. Footy, terrible. Some things just isn't fair, man. It actually isn't fair. I think he had 2 stints with cancer, 1 or 2 stints with cancer.
I think it's his third knee. First one in the other 2 were in one knee, but this one's the first time in another knee, which is just almost worse.
It was actually 2 ACL blows in the same game.
Yes,
because
Yeah,
Kitty
'cause Kitty Coleman
Coleman
did his as well.
and both
Yeah.
of them are really like obnoxious ACL injuries.
I thought the Sam Doherty one, man,
Yeah, it's
especially
weird,
was
yeah.
very weird. It's like the movement wasn't.
No.
It was not like there was a crazy hyperextension
No,
or
no,
anything.
no.
It's sort of like just a little
It just
tweak,
dug in, yeah, sort of.
and it was just
Sort of
pumped.
reminds me of Nick Murray's last year as well. It looked like he just landed on his leg,
Yeah,
like a little bit awkwardly. But it
yeah.
was
I can't remember the one, but
Yeah, it was in the Gold Coast game
Yeah.
last year. In the Gold Coast that we lost.
Was that Nick Murray or Tom Dudo you're talking about?
Uh,
Tom Dudo did his ACL in that game.
Yeah, Nick
Against Gold
Murray was
Coast.
at the back end, wasn't it?
yeah, no, maybe I'm.
We'll add that to
maybe
Josh's
I'm-
mistakes for next
yeah,
week.
right, that's in one of my mistakes now.
But no, I do get what
Yeah, you get what I mean. It just
I get what
looked-
you mean.
Um,
Yeah, you know what, man? It's just not fair sometimes.
No.
no,
Actually, isn't. And hopefully he recovers, and he will. He's an absolute professional, and he'll be back. A lot of people are saying that he could retire. He won't retire from this. There's no way he'll go out on the terms like that.
No.
But
And he's still, how old is he?
30.
30, yeah, he's still got years.
He's still got
at
years.
least a few years.
It's just
right?
sad how many games he's missed. I think
Yeah.
I think he only played his 100th game last year, didn't he?
Yeah, I remember us talking about that. That was insane to me how this guy's been in for like
Sam Doherty's played 166 games.
yeah, I think
maybe
it was
his
150.
It was his 150th.
150th
Yeah,
last year.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's really sad.
yeah.
Really sad. And you know, I was at the game where it was his first game back after the cancer stint at the G against Richmond, and I remember I reckon that's probably still the best moment for me as a fan watching a game, because I'm not a Carlton fan, but my dad is, and usually we go over for the round one opening match against Richmond, and we're not this year, but I remember that year we went, and that was the first time in a long time where we went into it confident that we were going to get the win.
Yeah.
And Sam Dockers was back, and he took that mark. Oh no, it was a free
It was in
kick.
the
It was a
last
free kick in the last quarter. It was at
yeah.
the start of the last quarter.
Yeah,
It was really
outside
close.
50.
And I remember he like lined up, kicked this goal, and I remember just the noise in that stadium was insane.
Yeah.
Like I've been to prelim finals, I've been to all sorts of games, but I've never heard a roar like that. And the most beautiful part about it is you won't see it on the TV, but being in that stadium, there was a standing ovation for that full 30 seconds until that next set bounce.
Yeah.
And even the Richmond fans were up standing and clapping for him as well. And you know, it's just beautiful moments in sport, I guess.
Yeah.
And you know, and Sam Doherty
He'll be back.
has had plenty of them, and he's had plenty of really sad moments as well. But he'll be back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember being at the game, Ben Cunnington's first game back as well, because that was at
Yes,
Adelaide
we were
Oval.
there as well.
We
Yeah,
were
for
at that one. That was
that was. What's the word for that?
like
Surreal.
It was,
surreal,
and
yeah.
for a game that North Melbourne went into pretty well knowing that they were going to lose,
Get smacked.
it was handled very well. His return, so
It's just good seeing
Yeah,
players
it's
like
great.
that, absolute servants and workhorses, getting the
it's fantastic.
recognition and the appreciation that they deserve after coming back from such brutal things like that.
100%.
Anything else on this game?
No, I think I've covered most of the events.
Fair enough. Oh, actually, just quickly, that Charlie Cameron guy, man, he can't kick. Guy sucks.
I don't know what was his stats? I didn't.
Somebody pull it up. I just remember.
Well,
I remember
actually,
him
he
just
kicked-
missing
He-
it.
I remember
2
he-
goals, 3.
I was
Yeah,
going to say,
I
I
remember
remember
those
him kicking
behinds
two
that-
behinds. Yeah,
They were pretty bad,
whack, yeah.
really bad ones. Like, and I see him do that quite often, where he'll just chuck the ball on his boot and it just fucking goes.
And I think one of his goals was just one of those classic Camerons out the back, goal square.
Yeah, that's okay. All I needed was 2 goals from a multi, and I got that. I had a very successful weekend on the punt as well. I was up about $180 over the 3 games.
Gamble responsibly.
Yeah, little $10 multis.
Yeah.
So not too bad.
Yeah.
Actually, Adelaide Cups in about 40 minutes.
Oh,
I think.
actually,
No, I'm not getting.
shall
that.
we take a break real quick?
No, we're not taking
No.
a break for the Adelaide Cup, Josh.
All right. So Damien Hardwick's our next talking point.
Oh,
Or the Gold Coast Suns.
The Damien Hardwick Cup.
Yeah.
What a game! What a game
It
that
was
was.
actually, yeah. It was kind of a blowout, but it was competitive at times.
It was a blowout. It wasn't competitive. It was competitive. It was competitive until it wasn't competitive until Gold Coast decided they wanted to relax and not injure anybody.
Yeah.
So
That's what I said.
So to end the first half, Gold Coast had an 11-goal unanswered run.
Yeah.
And then to start the second half, Richmond went on a 7 unanswered goal run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a fair few goals to have unanswered like
That is, what is that? That's 18 goals.
That was a good game, I thought.
Still,
Matt Rowell was a fucking
Rowell,
beast. An absolute beast. Broke the AFL record for clearances in a game. 10 centre clearances, 10 stoppage clearances. What a man.
Fantastic.
What a man. Beautiful three-vote game, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Usually an absolute tackle machine, but he was
Can
a bit...
you just pull up...
Well, he still had the most for the game, actually.
He did, yeah.
So
Will Powell stats there, Josh?
Will Powell, I sure can.
I think he had about
He had 28 disposals, 20 of them were kicks.
9 marks.
9 marks, yep.
Josh, I saw your mate Barry was playing as well.
Oh, yeah.
Which one is it? Tom Berry? Is it Tom Berry that plays for He was playing. I noticed him there. He's apparently think he's going to get a good run of games under Hardwick. There's something he does that Hardwick likes.
That's
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Aussie's got one of his Guernseys actually.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Right, there you go.
Yep. Indigenous one from last year, I think, wasn't it? Or
Anzac.
Anzac. Yep.
That's good.
Is Ben King a Coleman Smoky?
That's the one I was talking about before.
I'll beat you to it.
With the way that ball's going to be floating in there, him and Lukosius are going to kick a lot of goals this year. And granted, we haven't seen it yet against a backline that is, what's the word? A proven backline.
They had quite a young
backline, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And that was expected from Richmond this year.
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason Josh had Richmond in 17th, and that's one of them.
Because they suck.
Because they suck. They do suck.
They suck.
They suck. And everybody you get your phone on silent, mate. We don't need
that wasn't mine.
on the table. That was yours.
It was yours. I thought it was mine. And
Sorry,
I'm like,
folks.
NBA doesn't vibrate.
Something vibrated, and it was your phone.
Yeah.
But no, Ben King, they're going to kick a lot of goals this year. Him and Lukosius.
And even wrong team.
What's
I
your
was going to say Jesse Hogan.
What's your favourite King brother? Was it?
Oh, look, can't go past Max. Can we?
Yeah, well,
come on, Max. Well, that's a bit of a bias.
Yeah. If Ben comes over, it'll be a tie.
I don't think he's leaving now, mate.
No way.
Didn't he sign a huge contract?
And I thought he was going to do that anyways. Fucking, I'm spewing Hardwick's at the Gold Coast now because now I know there's no chance of us at the Crows ever getting Lukosius.
Yeah,
he ain't leaving there, mate. No way.
Only 2026. Ben King's it.
Well, I think that the way I see that is this year and next year to give them a chance.
Yeah.
Because by next year they'll know whether or not they're going up, and he'll be like, all right, well, this is just a sinking ship.
I'll see you later.
Well, I'm gonna just butt in right there with something I have prepared.
Yeah.
So when I look at AFL teams that have won premierships, they all have about a third of the team, on-field team, like game day team, that are either All-Australian or All-Australian calibre. Now on that, as I look through the teams this year, okay?
Oh, okay. I like it.
I go down, you got your Collingwoods, you got your Brisbanes, your Giant, they've all got that.
Yep.
I go down to Gold Coast. Now, I've analysed their team. I've put Noah Anderson and Tuke Miller in already All-Australian.
Ooh.
So there's 2 of the 8.
And you're leaving Matt Rowe out?
Well, I've put Matt Rowe in All-Australian calibre.
Ooh, okay, but we need to see a bit more consistency from him.
Same with Ben King.
Yep.
Sam Flanders.
Yep.
Jared Witts.
And
Lukosius. And Charlie Ballard. There's my 8.
Damn.
I think if they keep projecting the way they're going, Gold Coast will make a grand final in 2 years.
Wow.
That's what I think.
And you're doing that off the back of how many players they've got that should be All-Australian?
I think these guys have potential. And I didn't even put Bailey Humphrey in there.
Yeah, he was good as well.
I
didn't recognise him at first because he cut his hair. I'm like, who is that fucker running around?
I haven't seen enough from Bailey Humphrey to put him in All-Australia calibre yet, but I would not be surprised if he's there in 2 years.
Yep, he could be. Could very well be. No, I like it, Austin. Thank you.
He looks very different. Wow.
Yeah, I know. Look at him. Look at him with no long hair. Yeah, it confused the shit out of me. I'm watching it. And I'm like, who the fuck is that guy? And then they're like, Humphrey. And I'm like, where? He's not there. He was there. He just cut his hair.
Did you guys catch that rush behind in the last quarter?
In the Richmond game?
Yes.
Yes, did. Yes. What about it?
What are your? I want to get your thoughts.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I am not a fan of the rush behind rule at all. I don't think that they should just be able to claim they're under pressure and walk out of play. We're one of the only sports that let defenders have this little safe space that they can go. In any other sport that's like this, if you're getting pressured like that, you just have to kick it long. Simple as that. And there's no reason why they shouldn't have to do it as well. If they want to play backwards like that, then they run the risk of the pressure getting to them and they get run back in, and then it should be paid deliberate.
I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I love it. And I think one step further, I'm not saying it'll happen anytime soon, but I think it should be with out of bounds as well. Like if a backman comes over, double fists it out of bounds, that's just as deliberate as backtracking.
It just
over.
kills
I don't know too much
momentum
about
from the back line.
I don't know if I agree
the way
with the like the defender spoiling. Should be deliberate, but definitely the rush behind. Definitely the rush behind. I think they get away with it way too much.
I've been on the out of bounds one for a few years, and I've found it is genuinely 50-50. Like people love it, people hate it.
Yeah,
no, that's fair. No, it definitely is a contention in the sport these days. Maybe it's something we'll see in the next few years with the new AFL boss. See if they'll make some changes into it. What do you reckon of the What do you reckon of the chances of the AFL bringing in the last touch out rule, like what they had in the sand?
I don't know. It'll definitely make for more game action.
It'll flow a lot better. There'll be a lot more there'll be a lot less stoppages.
Yeah.
But I love the deliberate rule, man. I think
do
when
too.
the umpire fucking
exciting.
eyes down where that ball's gone out of bounds and just starts fucking sprinting, lifts his hand up and goes, "Yep, that's deliberate." And then I'm up on my feet behind him and I'm like, "Yeah, deliberate, gun, yeah." Like it gets me up and about.
And
it's an exciting rule.
There's nothing that gets me more up and about when I'm actually at the game than a deliberate or a good holding the ball call, like a good holding the ball call.
It's one of the only rules where I can pick almost every time whether it's deliberate or not. It's very consistent.
Yeah.
Very consistent.
But that being said, should it be like less of the boundary throw-ins? Like to be, is it worth sacrificing the deliberate to reduce boundary throw-ins because then it'll flow more?
Yeah, I'd like to see more game time. Yeah,
but then it goes under. What you said with the double fist out. If it's last touch out always, does that mean that they'll stop doing that? Probably.
Well, I think the last touch is that kicks only.
I'm
unsure.
Yeah, hang on. I think.
It is. You're right. Yeah, it's got to be off a kick.
Yeah,
but the AFL can do whatever they want. They can change.
True, they are the bosses.
Yeah.
As they say, the only people they answer to is God themselves, and they are God.
They've just told all the leagues below them.
So it's kicks or
concussions
handballs.
need to have 21 days. And we'll
it's
have
pretty
12.
brutal.
Yeah.
Kicks or handballs out of over the boundary
So it is
line.
handball.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yep. There you go. But not like spoils.
But I think if it's in a contest, it's just chucking in.
Just chuck it in. Yeah. No, that's fair.
Is that
I think it works well.
All from.
I think there's something else to talk about. Surely we're missing something
In the
Gold Coast
game.
Gold Coast game. How much of that game's like the end result of that can be put to like the new like Gold Coast, and how much of it needs to be put to just how bad Richmond are?
Yeah.
I'm on the train that Richmond's are just in a
I think I remember. Did you watch the game? Because you messaged the group chat. You asked me. You're like, no, are Gold Coast this good or Richmond just this bad? And I said I think it's a bit of both.
I think so too. Yeah.
I think they definitely.
That's when I started watching. Yeah.
I've never seen Gold Coast look this organised.
No, you see, I've got
really solid as well.
Yeah. And I've got to note about that midfield. They've got Rao had 33, Miller and Powell had 28, Flanders had 26, and Anderson had 25. So they're all contributing, getting their own ball, and it's just we haven't really seen that before from a Gold Coast team.
The Tigers were also missing Dustin Martin, Toby Nankervis, and Tom Lynch is still out.
Yes.
When's Tom Lynch back? He's back
soon. I think it is soon.
It'll be interesting to see how they go with him, because that was the other thing with Richmond. When they did look like going forward, that didn't look like they really had anybody to go to.
No.
I know they're trying out the Noel Bolter thing, but I just don't think that's an end game.
I don't think that's
for
the
them.
answer,
No, it's not. And I think they pulled the pin on that a little bit in that game as well. There were periods where he just had to go down back and just sort them out a little bit, which is fair enough as well, which you can do when you got a player like Noel Bolter. Before we move on from this game, Josh, anything you want to say to the people that were commenting on your Richmond prediction? So go on.
I'm just going to say, I've looked at Richmond's fixture and how shit Richmond is. If Richmond can win 3 of their next 6 games, one of you two can shave my head.
3 games?
3 out of 6.
3 out of 6. What does that put? So bring up their fixture.
So
who have they got?
While I'm having a drink, man.
Right. So basically Richmond. So that they'll be 7 games in, and they will have won. Oh no, they'll have a bye as well.
Yeah, they do have of their next 6 that they play.
Next 6 games that they play. So who do they play? What are their next 6 games?
Let's have a look.
Well, I know they play St Kilda in North. I know. 4. I know that.
I'm a bit worried because I know they play West Coast in there as well.
Yeah.
So
I'm not
obviously
saying
they play Carlton next week.
Yep.
obviously, and then they play Port Adelaide at the G, and then Sydney, and then they play the Saints in Adelaide, and then they play West Coast.
In Perth, though, could be tough.
Then they've got their bye, and then the last of the 6 will be Melbourne.
Make it 2 games.
No.
Make it 2 games. Don't be a pussy.
No.
Come on, man.
No,
3's too hard. That's a really hard run of fixtures. Make it 2.
They play West Coast in there. They get a free one.
Well, they get a free one. That's not necessarily a free one when it's another bottom half team, like you're saying.
Sydney historically.
You're saying it's a free game, but yeah, it was a free game last year. But this Eagles team are not the same as they were last year, mate. And this
Sydney
Richmond team is not the same as they were last year.
Sydney are not very good in Melbourne historically.
Yeah, still, Sydney are going to be a top 8 team.
I'm just going to call it 3 out of the next 6. All right.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
We call that?
Fine.
We're going to call it Josh Watch.
Josh Watch.
Every time Richmond wins a game, I'm just going to
just start losing your shit. Just fuck.
Yeah.
Why? All right. Final game of the round, boys.
Yes.
Moving on to it. Let's do it. Who wants to take it away?
It went exactly how I thought it was going to go.
Is that exactly how you thought it was going to go? Did you tip GWS?
I sure did.
Did you actually?
I actually did.
Oh, that's actually tipping plug. If anybody wants to join the tipping league, ESPN Footy Tips, look it up. The Play on Pod League.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it is actually.
Play on Pod League. Yeah, I did make it.
I thought that was going to happen.
Yeah, right. I'm a fan. I'm a massive fan of Giants Ball.
Giants Ball. That's Giants the term we're coining, is it?
Giants Ball. Yep.
Is that actually that original, Austin, or did that come from David King?
I haven't listened.
Sounds like something David King said, but I don't know. Guess we'll find out.
All right, Giants Ball.
All right, what were the big takeaways from this game? Actually, can we start off with Mason Cox?
Yeah, mate.
Come on, like.
He
loves the telly, that boy.
Yeah,
he loves being on telly.
My favourite.
And then did he say something like they issued him a please explain?
No,
he said,
before the please explain, he was asked about it. He was like, "Oh, I'll explain on the podcast." And the AFL have clapped back and been like, "No, how about you explain it now?
You go to court.
The official please explain." Yeah. Well, what do you reckon? Was he going to get a fine for that? Surely there's something in that for making contact with an opposition's coach. And I know that might sound like a bit of like a just a bit nitpicky, like, oh, he didn't mean to, but like, still, you can't just go. If you can't make contact with the umpires, you can't go and make contact with the opposition coach to try and have a nil.
It was just 100%. Silly. It was a brain fade, and
I don't think it was. He did it on purpose. He knew exactly what he was doing.
Well, he did, but like,
he just shouldn't have done it.
He obviously just didn't.
I just think he loves the telly. He just wants to be on the telly.
He wants to be on the telly, and that's fine. Yeah. He can do that. He's got his shit sorted out. That's for sure. He knows what he's doing. Return to the All Australian this year for Lockie Whitfield.
Yeah, I've got a note on him. He had 33 and 14. He's back to that 2018, 2019 form before he had his appendix.
Was there any info on how many metres? Have you got his metres gained?
570.
570, yeah. Which
I believe Josh Kelly had a few more.
Josh Kelly had 689.
689.
689. Crazy metres gained.
I do love metres gained.
Yeah, Josh Kelly had the most of the game, followed by Nick Dacos and then Lockie Whitfield.
Had a good game
if there is someone with 1,000 metres this year, you can bet your bottom dollar I'll be the first to tell you. Yep.
That is true. Austin loves a metres gained stat. He does. It's a big one for him. Anything else from this game?
Callum Brown.
I was about to say, big game from him. I remember Amalia, because my partner Amalia was over here watching it with us. Shout out to her if she's listening. She's probably not, but actually she listened to last week's episode.
This is a good test.
True.
We'll leave a little secret bit.
Yeah, Amalia, if you're listening right now, text me.
You want chicken nuggets?
Border collie.
Border collie.
Just border collie. If you're listening right
now.
If I don't get this text by next week when we're recording, then we're gonna have words.
Yeah, trouble. You're a bad person.
But we were watching the game, and she was like, "This guy's really good. He's kicked all their goals up until what's his name kicked the fourth one for him. He had the first three.
He did. Yeah.
Was it Brett Daniels? Brett Daniels kicked a goal, and then she was like, "Oh, somebody else finally kicked a goal." I thought that was funny. Yeah.
Jesse Hogan is in career best form.
Yes,
on the back of last year after
10-goal game against the
Bombers.
Yeah, I think that was a more impressive.
It was
both of Taylor Walker's and both of Charlie Curno's against.
Well, it wasn't against West Coast.
Against that's what I mean. It was a very impressive game that he had.
I really like Nick Haynes' game. He had 23 touches,
very
and
underrated.
7 intercepts.
Talked about, but he was very good. Yeah, that whole Giants backline would just set the fuck up, man. You're not going to get through them this year, and it's scary, very scary.
Sam Taylor is just, my God, Sam Taylor is insane.
Yes, sir. Very, very good player. That's why he's the top 2 fullback in the comp.
Yeah,
that's why. Arguably the first. Would you say he's the first?
Was he Australian? Yeah, he was last year. I'd say top 2. A safe bet, top 2.
Safe bet. And him and Harris Andrews.
Yeah, flip of a coin for top 1. For first, yeah.
No, definitely. Actually, speaking of, we can't really go back to it. Oh, we're just going to quickly pivot back to the fucking Brisbane game. It's something I forgot that I wanted to mention. Sam DeConing, very, very underrated.
He was so good in the ruck.
So good in the ruck, shutting down the Big Oscar McInerney. And my dad rang me after the game, and he started going on about he was giving it to Mackay because my dad's a big Blues fan. He's like, "Oh, Mackay, we need more from him. We need more from him. We do." He sounded like Kane Corns. I don't know if you've seen the clip of Kane Corns just being like giving him absolutely nothing. It's like that's what we expect of him. And yeah, that's fine as well. But I'm like, well, what more do you want from him, Dad? He kicked 3, kicked the winner. And then he starts going on about Sam DeConing. He's like, I don't know about that young Sam DeConing.
He's just giving old mate a bar.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know about that young Sam DeConing. I need to see more from him. I'm like, Dad, did you not see him? Did you see anything from Oscar McInerney tonight? He goes, no, I didn't. Now that you mentioned, I'm like, well, that's because Sam DeConing shut him out.
Yep.
And I'm like, that's what you need from him, man. Like, not every ruckman can go and do what Max Gawn does and have 30 touches, like 10 marks and 3 goals whenever he wants. And that's fine.
Not everyone's Gawn and Grundy.
That's it. Not everybody's Gawn and Grundy. And you need to stop expecting that from every ruckman.
You've got your big O's. You've got your... just those sort of...
You got your Riley O'Briens.
Yeah. They tap the ball.
Yeah, your Tristan Cherry type operators.
All you need from them.
That's it.
Just tap
if Riley O'Brien plays like he did against West Coast this year, we're in for something.
We're on Rob Watch this weekend against Jared Witts. That'll be a good matchup this coming weekend.
Because Jared Witts played quite good on the weekend.
But we'll talk about that later. Anyways, we'll pivot back. Sorry to go off topic there a little bit, but I forgot to mention
back to the Giants game.
Yeah, back to the Giants game.
What did Kieran Briggs have just on the ruck talk, Josh?
He got muscled out.
He went up
20
against Darcy Cameron.
Darcy Cameron was really good.
Yeah.
He was noticeably good, visibly good.
Yeah.
Even my dad, who doesn't know who Darcy Cameron was like, who was that ruckman for Collingwood? He was very good. They should chuck him up forward. That's what he said. He goes, they should chuck him up forward.
Because that's why he's been hired for 3 years now.
Yeah,
Well, Darcy Cameron had 2 goals and 30 hit-outs.
And the second, was it the second one? He just threw it on the boot as well, and it just sailed through the goals. I was like, damn, look at him go. That was like a Taylor Walker out of the pack, like just throw it on the boot behind his head sort of goal.
Yeah.
Anything else from this game? Tom Green. Gun.
Had 30 and 9 clearances.
My second favourite T Green from GWS.
Your second favourite T Green.
Actually, speaking on your first, that was some goal he kicked.
It's the exact same goal that he missed in the prelim final as well. Isn't that kind of not...
There's a bit in that.
There is a bit in that. It's like the exact same spot, exact same kick that he had at goal that he missed in that prelim. And imagine if he'd sent that through in the prelim.
Yeah,
it was a great goal.
I'd still be celebrating.
He is so good at football, though.
Was there any good marks this weekend?
We
were talking about good goal, and it just hit me that there hasn't really been any. I didn't see any noticeable like mark of the year type operators.
There's only 4 games. You think?
I know, but there was 9 games. I can't wait for the nominations for mark of the year to come out for this week though, because you know the AFL have to put out the clips for it. Yeah. It'll have the same energy. There was like a period last year when I think it was Arsenal that they couldn't kick a goal, or it was Chelsea, and it was like the only goal they'd kicked that month was from a penalty, and that by default won their goal of the month, and they had to post it on the thing, and everybody was taking the absolute piss out of them. It'll have that same energy to it.
Far out.
Yeah. What else from this game?
I just think GWS have made a statement, and they just.
I think they've shown the competition, hey, this is how you beat Collingwood.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're the only team that have spent their off-season putting time into beating Collingwood's game style. And I think Collingwood have a few losses this year.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That's to be expected. I think I had that in my ladder as well. That's why
I still have them first, but
I did as well.
I think the Giants are really really going to do well this year.
Did we maybe underestimate the Giants a little bit, putting them fifth and fourth?
I had them at
third.
third.
I did. I actually had them third. I had Port seventh.
Yeah, right.
So I actually had them third.
No, you had them seventh, mate.
I actually had them third. So.
I had GWS third.
That's fine. I wish them all the best for this year.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's going to be a good year. It's going to be a good year of footy. Can we quickly go over the whole opening round concept again? I touched on it last week about what I thought about it, and what do you guys reckon? Was it a success or not?
There was some belting games, but the season opener didn't feel like Carlton and Collingwood at the G.
No, it didn't. And it'll be interesting to see what the vibe of Carlton Richmond. Yeah, but it'll be interesting to see what the vibe of Carlton Richmond's going to be like this coming week.
It just won't feel like the season opener though.
They're going to have a big crowd.
They'll have a big crowd, but it just won't be the same.
90 plus?
Yeah.
90?
Yeah.
95? It'll be
crazy. It'll be big.
Well, the only reason me and Dad aren't going is because we didn't want to fly. Pardon me. We didn't want to fly all the way to Melbourne to go watch it because the only tickets we could get were up in the nosebleeds.
Yeah.
Because I tried logging in right when the tickets went on sale and they just out.
Yeah.
It's all member seating this year and there's just not much GA and the only GA is up top. And if you're in that late, then you're going to be sitting all the way on the fifth level at the G. And
I remember, what game did we go to last? Carlton Collingwood at the G.
Last year, the one where Carlton lost.
Yeah. You couldn't get tickets, but there was plenty of empty seats.
Yeah. But that's just member seating.
Yeah, I understand that, but I hope more members rock up.
Nah, they will this year. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Don't worry, they will. But as a whole, I reckon this round was still a fail.
I agree.
Yeah. So can you get the attendance for the Collingwood GWS game, correct?
It was 20,000.
20,000. All right. So at the same time the Eels and Bulldogs played, they had 30,000 across town.
Yeah, that's
damn.
bad.
So there's
biggest stadium though.
They hold 30,000, so they had full capacity. They were sold out. Yeah.
No, I mean at the Giants game. They were sold out as well.
Oh, were they?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, they didn't.
Oh, they were too. Yeah.
But still, I see what you mean, though.
But why not have it?
And there was
what was the attendance for the Storm game?
Storm 20,000.
20,000. That's not quite a sellout though. If that's at the rectangular stadium, Amy Park.
I think it's at Amy Park. Yeah,
Amy Park. That seats like 25 to 30.
Yeah, so that's like 80% capacity.
Yeah. Still a big game.
Yeah.
What do they normally have? What is their normal attendance like in a Storm game?
Storm tend to have high attendance, I think.
Yeah.
I think they actually have a few
I've been in Melbourne once. I went to a game at the G when there was a Storm game across the road, and I remember trying to get back on the trams at Richmond Station. And there's all these Storm people on there, and there's all these Collingwood people.
So
as well. I think it was that
the Storm average from last year was 20,000.
20,000, so around
so
that.
It's about the same.
They hit their average. That's okay. Still, this scrap it. Don't bring it back next week.
Yeah.
Not next week. Yeah, sorry, next year. I don't think there was a reason to do this week. I don't see why they couldn't have played these same games, but also had all the other teams playing this week.
Exactly.
If they wanted to send teams up to Sydney if they wanted to send all these teams up to Sydney and up north to play, they still could have done it and have the other teams playing. There was no reason to have like all these buys this week.
And it's
and it's going to mess with fantasy players. It's going to mess with. We won't be able to see a proper ladder until round 7.
It hasn't ruined the fixture, but it's made it unnecessarily
complicated.
Yeah.
Think about all the grandmothers that are going to be looking at the ladder over the next 4 or 5 weeks, and they're just going to absolutely have an aneurysm.
Yeah, they're stressing now because the Crows are in 9th, not first.
I know. What's up with that?
My favourite thing about being a Crows fan is that the Crows spend over half the year on top of the ladder, and that's.
Actually, I do have a stat that I saw on Twitter from Swamp. Yeah, they've now finished the round in every position on the ladder.
Wow,
good for them. Yeah. Good for them. That's awesome.
Well done, Gold Coast.
Well done, Gold Coast.
Great stuff.
And we'll be watching already. We'll be watching in awe of this year. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Might even see.
What else happened this weekend?
Boys?
Not in footy, just in general. What happened in footy this week? What happened in everybody's weekend this week? How was your weekend this week? Long weekend good. Here in Adelaide.
Yeah.
Recording on a Monday midday. What's the time right now?
We're running at.
Like
my laptop.
Yeah, 2:40. It's like 2:40. We started recording at 2:00.
Yeah.
I didn't do a lot this
weekend.
Didn't do a lot this weekend. No. playing.
either. It's too hot.
I
hot.
worked all weekend.
Josh did work all weekend. Came back yesterday. Arvo came home, had a shower, and straight in the Uber, straight to the Moseley to meet up with us boys.
Yep. And then straight to bed.
Wake up. Who do I ran into? Actually, do you know who I ran into at the Moseley? Ran into Paul Seedsman at the Moseley. Yeah, I was sitting on the couch waiting for Aiden to order. Aiden ordered. We got to the Moseley really early at like 6 o'clock, and we were like, "Yeah, we'll grab a feed beforehand." And I'm sitting on this table, and there's like couches around it because all the tables were full. So we like sat there, and who comes and sits next to me? He's like, this fella walks in. He's like, "Oh mate, can I sit here?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
Right. Yeah.
And he sits down. I'm like,
you can.
"Are you Paul Seedsman?" He goes, "Yeah, mate, I am." Yeah, it was. It was.
Like
kind
like you didn't know he was Paul Seedsman.
No, I did know he was Paul Seedsman, but I didn't want to just be like, Paul Seedsman! It's Paul Seedsman!
Yeah.
Imagine you were just staring at him like...
Imagine that. Yeah, I'm just like, oh.
That's like what you did with Gil last year.
True. I was like, is that Gil McLaughlin?
Yeah. Just
Yeah,
out
we
of the
gather
street,
around.
just like, is that
Yeah,
Gil?
and then Gil just turns... He didn't turn around.
He side-eyed the shit out of me. Side-eyed the absolute shit out of me. It was so funny.
It was a bit of a jump scare because he's really tall.
I didn't realise how tall that man is, man.
He's so tall.
So tall.
Terrifying.
Not Paul Seedsman. This is Gil McLaughlin we're talking
Not
about
Paul
as well.
Seedsman.
Yeah.
It was terrifying.
Bloody Dylan this year. We'll trot on him. Is that little?
Definitely.
Yeah, far out.
And it got me
Compared to
thinking
Gil.
about running into Paul. Got me thinking. I was like, if the AFL actually picked the All Australian squad based on like actual positions, they should be. There's no. He should be retiring a 2-time All Australian. Hi, Jacob. It's okay. We're recording, but we can say hello to you.
Yeah.
It's all good.
We'll say hello. Yeah.
Jacob, our housemate, just walked into the lounge room to fill up his water bottle with ice and water.
What do you mean? We're in the
hot
studio.
Oh, in
now.
the studio.
We're in the studio.
Yeah, we're in the studio, guys. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Because it's 34.
Yeah, but yeah, ran into Paul Seedsman last night.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And he was gone before I got there, which was devastating.
He heard you were coming.
Yeah.
After, let's segue into. We're done talking about the
Swagway.
games. I've got a bit of stuff organised for us. For now, right?
Okay.
So, based off of over the last week, we put a few clips out, and as to be expected when it comes to the Australian general populace, people aren't very nice. They're actually kind of mean, and that's okay. We find it funny, and we actually hope these guys abuse us in our comment section because it drives up our engagement, which means that more people will see our videos, and more people will hopefully follow. Because I like to think for every 10 people that don't like what we're doing, there'll be one person that does like what we're doing, and you know, and that's okay. That's good. And I'm happy with that.
It's a life change.
But because I compiled a list of the top 5 comments we received on our socials over the last
week. Can you do
week.
that one last?
Yeah.
Do that one last.
Stop looking. You're not meant to look, mate. I'm meant to read it out.
Sorry,
and you'd be
mate.
like,
Sorry.
Josh. All right. starting at number 1. In quotes, I stopped watching when he said Richmond at 17th. Dude's got no idea.
Richmond are in the bin.
I think that's directed at
See you
I
later.
think that's directed at Josh as well.
It may be.
There was actually that video. It got like 5,000 views on TikTok. That clip, and pretty much every comment was about you. And then on Instagram, there was the one comment by your mum that was like, "Love this."
How good, guys? How good?
All right. Number 2. After me talking about the flights from Perth to Adelaide, my sister commented, "Do you need some money or something, Noah?" with a question mark.
It's not good that many of these are from our family, is it?
Well, it's like, your mum's wasn't actually on here. None of the rest of them.
It's okay.
The rest, that's the only one on this list
cool,
that's from somebody that we know.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right, good.
Okay, number 3, we got to the same video of you doing the Richmond ladder. We've got "You're cooked" spelt Y-O-U-R.
Return serve.
And then I returned the comment and said Y-O-U-R-E.
Crookie's getting a bit of airtime.
Yeah,
Might be on the
Cookie did
ESPN
get a
top
fair
10
bit of
actually.
airtime. And this is I actually didn't get 5. I got 4. Whoopsies. Yeah. And the last one is, this one's directed to Austin, talking about the St Kilda boys. And you know, this one is the best. This one. We got a really good chuckle out of this. And the guy that posted it, he actually is following us now, so he probably won't hear this, but if he does, just know we did get a really good chuckle at it, and keep it coming, mate. It was really funny. He goes, talking about Austin, talking about the Saints last week, he goes, "It gets fans like me excited." In quotes, "The most unexcited bloke to ever talk. Somebody get this guy a Red Bull." Any comment on that one, Austin?
It was good. I liked it, mate. Well,
We did get a Red Bull for him before this week's episode.
Yeah,
I'm pinging.
Yeah. Ozzy has been pinging.
Yeah, bounce off the walls.
Oh
mate.
yeah.
look at how excited he is right now.
I haven't even talked about the Saints yet.
He's unlucky because this is a week where the Saints haven't played. So
Wait till next week.
Wait till next week after the Saints play for premiership points. Who do they play next week? Actually.
Oh, we played Geelong in Geelong.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You could win that. I think.
Yeah.
Geelong.
Yeah, that was our top
Bloody
4
hope
comments.
because we got Collingwood the week after.
That was our top 4 comments that we received over the week. And for anybody that's listening, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening. I noticed we did get a fair few listeners on the Spotify, which was good. And a lot of people have gotten around the socials and gotten around the clips and commenting on stuff. And even if you don't agree with us, we're happy to hear from you. Okay, and we love you.
It helps us.
Yeah.
Exactly, and we're all here to just play on. At the end of the day, playing on is that is the name of the podcast. That is the name. It says on the sign right here. Next to Bobblehead Rory
That's
Sloan.
awesome.
Yeah, but no, it's been good fun. All right, and last up, I've got a bit of a game for us to play. All right. I'm a big believer that some of the shit that Kane Corn says sort of sounds like it's just been written by ChatGPT. So I wanted to test that theory. I have 3 quotes. One of them is an AI-generated quote in the style of Kane Corns, and 2 of these are real. You guys' job is to tell me which one is real and which 2 are real and which one is the fake one.
Okay, yeah.
All right. I've got them listed in an order here. You guys can probably see it. You don't know which one is right, but I'm going to list them in no order, and then at the end, you guys are going to tell me which one. All right?
Okay.
Number 1.
So one's fake, 2 are real.
One of these is fake. 2 of them are real.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
Number 1. Pull up your socks to the West Coast Eagles, who turned up to their internal trial wearing the most ridiculous outfits that you have ever seen. Yep. All right. Number 2.
Hang on. Say it like Kane would.
I can't.
Yeah, no.
I can't do a Kane Corns
I don't think
voice.
Noah's voice is that obnoxious.
Yeah, it's not. All right. Number 2. If your team can't win the easy ones, mate, you might as well start knitting scarves. It's winter in the football world, and some clubs are stuck in a perpetual crafting session.
Perpetual. Big word for Kane.
That seems a bit too posh for Kane
big,
Corns.
big word for
You
Kane.
reckon?
I'm pretty sure
That's a big word for Kane?
Yeah.
All right, you're going to be surprised at the end of this then if that's what you're saying. Kane's a very educated man. I'll tell you. He was a fireman for about a week. That's not really an education, but he's done a fair few things.
He played
once, yeah.
He played 300 games for Port
And
Adelaide as well.
Number 3.
As a tagger.
Sydney, put your social media away. Put your ridiculous TikTok videos away. If you've watched them, they're cringeworthy and they're embarrassing until you get a kick.
Would Kane say
All right.
cringeworthy?
All right. That's your 3. Which one of these is real?
I know the Eagles one is true. I've seen the clip.
Okay.
I have. Okay. I felt like that one was true.
I know that one's true.
So which one of the other 2 is fake and which one's real?
Far out.
Would Kane say cringeworthy?
I don't
That's what
know.
I'm sitting at now.
Perpetual crafting session.
But doesn't that seem like something that he's written out and then he said something that he's like you see the clips of him at
he's read
SEN,
it back like
those clips of him at not
SEN.
SEN where he's like holding the piece of paper and he's reading exactly what's off it and then he like goes into his actual rant. It seems like that sort of thing.
Actually, just on Kane, do you see the clips where the...
Hang on, after. Let's finish the game. Come on, right? Finish the game. Actually, fine, go.
All right, so like they get someone in Monday night, him and Jared Healy.
Yep.
And Kane's sitting in the corner like, with his head in his hands and like not even listening. They're on like every week on SEN social.
Who's the person they're getting in?
I think it's the champion data guy.
Oh, and Kane just gives him nothing.
Kane just he's out.
Not a fan of champion data.
No.
I like when the champion data guy comes in.
Yeah.
I don't like when he starts trying to predict how the season's going to go based purely off of numbers. I think that's probably a little bit like...
That's a bit far, but...
Yeah, but like when he comes in and tells like some really interesting stuff that we don't get access to, the public, until we get set on those sorts of things. It's good. All right, so now, come on, boys. Which one of these is the real one?
I think the knitting scarves one is the fake one.
Which one's that? Do you want me
to read it
Is
again?
that number 2 or number 3?
Number 1, I think, the fake one.
And then so you reckon the Sydney one is the real one? And you reckon the knitting scarves one is fake?
Yeah.
Austin, do you agree?
I don't know if
You can challenge him.
I don't know if Kane would say cringe.
You don't think Kane?
honestly.
Let's say a different one, so then one of us can win.
Yeah,
All right.
I'll say number 3.
You reckon number 3?
It's gonna be number 1.
The fake one is the knitting one.
Yeah.
That came straight from ChatGPT.
Perpetual crafting session.
I'll tell you
That
what.
does
Now
sound
that I read that, I probably shouldn't have picked that one because I've got. Are we going to do this?
We'll do this.
Not every week. It's very hard to find some
Yeah.
real Kane Corns quotes that aren't
Yeah.
definitely real.
and that and that we
questionable.
might not know.
Yeah, exactly. Because we consume a lot of football media over the week, and there's not a lot that Kane Corns says that we don't hear.
Yeah. All right.
And before we close out, I've got a couple of trivia questions for you boys.
Wicked.
As well,
All right.
right, to get started, to get into
Yep.
it as well. All right.
Yep.
All right. True or false? After Richmond's Brett Deledio kicked a goal after the final siren in 2016's round 8, his team beat the Sydney Swans. True or false?
True.
Austin?
Kick the goal after the siren.
Yep.
Yeah, true.
It is false.
Oh.
It was not Brett Deledio that kicked it. It was Sam Lloyd.
Ah.
I was literally thinking of that game.
It's a trick question.
I was literally
trick
thinking
question.
of that game. Yeah,
But you both fell for it.
but I read it as like it was he kicked the goal to win or
Win
to
after
draw
the siren.
or to draw.
No. It's
That's
like
how I read
true
it.
or false. Brett. It's
okay.
written properly. It's just it's
Yeah.
got Brett Deledio there instead of Sam
Sam
Lloyd,
Lloyd.
and that's
Okay,
what
okay.
catches. That's what's going to catch you out.
Damn.
All right, next
I
up.
fumbled that.
Who was the first Adelaide Crows player to reach 300 games played? And it comes out of 3 players, and I'll list them out for you. Andrew McLeod. Can you let me list them out? Is it Andrew McLeod? Is it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're that confident
Well, can
that
I
you
get-
said it? Okay, well, it's Andrew McLeod, Mark Rashudo, and Ben Hart.
Actually, hang on.
Oh, yeah.
Hang on, give me a sec.
Yeah. So you jumped the gun.
Ben Hart.
What do you reckon, Josh? Are you locking in Andrew McLeod?
No, I'm not.
No, you're not, are you?
No.
So this is on record now, and you look like a tool.
Okay.
Stop trying to ruin my game.
Just so I'm different to Aussie, I'll go Mike Rashudo.
Okay. No, it was Ben Hart.
Yeah.
It was Ben Hart. Very well done, Austin. Austin didn't jump the gun.
Yeah, no,
It's
that's
okay.
my that's
Sorry,
my
I gave
bad.
you a little bit of a spray
No,
there, but
yeah, no.
that was really rude what you did.
Oh, sorry, mate. Sorry,
okay.
I'll buy you nothing.
A Carlton membership for my dad.
Yeah.
Nothing.
This is the last one. Here we go. All right, last one. Who was the first number 1 AFL draft pick to win the AFL Rising Star Award? And I'll list off the players. I've listed off 3 players here.
Nick Rewalt.
No.
Am I actually right with that one though?
Justin Kazicki, Nick Rewalt, or Luke Hodge?
Nick Rewalt. Am I right with that one now?
Yeah, you are right with that one,
Yeah,
Josh. But
okay.
why are you jumping the gun like that? Why'd you do that for? So mean.
I don't give a fuck.
This guy fucking
I
sucks.
actually don't
Oh,
give
you
a
know
fuck.
what, Josh? Next week you can fucking bring an activity to do.
Okay, fine.
All right,
I
you
will.
can bring a
I
fucking
will.
activity.
I'll bring an activity.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, that's fine. All right, we're wrapping it up there, boys.
Yeah.
All
On a
right.
good note.
On a good note.
On a good note, yeah. Alrighty.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening.
Yeah.
And we will see you next Monday after the first real week of footy.
Yeah.
After round
And,
1.
Yeah.
We're actually going to record Sunday this week.
We will record Sunday
So-
this week. We'll probably record. What time does the last game
That's what I was.
start on
That's
Sunday?
what I was told last week. So I come here Sunday. This week.
What time does the last game start? 6:30. It's a. We'll probably
It's in Perth.
we'll
so-
probably record while that's playing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we reckon.
we'll have it up on our.
On our
Is that a good idea though? That might be a bit of a distraction.
75
Yeah,
inch flat
actually, it
screen
probably
TV.
is, isn't
Probably
it?
is a bit of a
Yeah.
distraction. Tell you what, we'll watch the Port Adelaide game and then we'll start recording straight afterwards.
Yeah.
Should we go to that?
I was going to
Should
say,
we
we're
go to that?
attending that.
I don't know. We probably can.
Yeah,
And
I,
then just-
I can go to that
And then
one.
just jet back here.
Yeah, we'll go to that one.
Sure, we can do that.
Watch the Weagles
We'll go.
play
Yeah,
again.
we'll go watch the Weagles play again. Go see Harley Reid up close and personal again.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, it should be good.
I reckon.
Should be
Harley-
good. All
Harley
right, thank
Reid
you to
Brewers
everybody
tour.
for getting around the socials this week. We will see you all next Monday, and we'll see you during the week on
Yeah.
the socials as well. If
Keep
you haven't
an eye
already
out.
joined the tipping comp, join it. ESPN Footy Tips. I'll put it in the link and bio in all our
all
bios
of them.
and stuff. Yeah, and yeah, as always, play on.